Hello, hello. Welcome back. Let's get straight into it. I'm pretty much continuing playing again because, to be honest, I really like this game. I can't stop playing it. So let's go straight ahead with completing the other quest I had to do for Rosa.
By the way,
Got a book.
like you were saying about that book,
My favorite book? Pray tell, did you find it?
as I wandered through the fortress, I stumbled upon von Bergow's chambers, and there it lay. Red leather, gold inlay, just as you said.
You really found it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, did you have any time to leaf through it and see what it's about?
I read a bit of it.
What did you think?
Well, the author doesn't spare anyone. I wonder if he holds anything at all sacred.
Sure he does. Courage, honor, loyalty. But others have already written enough about those. A writer is interested in what lies beneath the gilded veneer of orderliness and piety, because it's much more interesting.
Hold on. Who wrote this then?
I did. Look,
Oh, damn.
you've never thought about writing something.
Me? And what would I write?
How should I know? Poetry, a novel, a treatise, or a whole book?
That's a tempting notion. Who knows? In another life, I might have become a writer.
Wouldn't you want to at least give it a try?
I
What?
suppose I'm not quite
Good
sure
try.
where you're going with this.
There are still a few blank pages left, so we could finish writing it together. You and me. What do you think?
Oh, damn, alright.
That sounds great.
We'll have plenty of light and privacy in my chambers. Will you escort me?
Okay.
Pleasure.
How should I start?
You haven't thought of anything yet?
Now, I have many ideas, but we must contribute in equal part.
Both?
Okay.
Well, fine.
What would I look?
What should I do?
Oh, yeah,
Just
there we go.
tell me what you'd like to read about. A tale of a man or a woman? I'll take careful notes of everything.
Well, being a man myself, a man, I suppose.
Why not? And what kind of a man is he?
You mean I have to think up a name?
You don't need to, but try to describe him so I can better imagine him. With a single word, even.
Okay. These days, people always go for it.
Now, there've already been enough heroes, saints, kings, and martyrs. So an ordinary person.
That's 2 words, but I'll forgive you. And do you want it to be an ordinary villain or an ordinary do-gooder?
Make him a do-gooder. But he can also have some bad traits to make it believable.
Very well. And what kind?
Philandering, frivolity, flippancy.
That sounds as if you've already thought of one.
Oh, my. And not just one. But I asked first.
Yeah. Anyone's faults are easy to find.
Especially when that person doesn't even try to hide them.
And what's wrong with that? Would you prefer for people to pretend to be better than they are?
No. But putting your bad habits on display for all to see isn't great either.
Do you know anyone without faults?
Of course not. Whenever I thought that of someone, I was quickly disabused of my illusions.
Who, for example?
I don't need to look far. My father, and my brother as well, have taught me much in this vein.
What actually happened between them? I heard they had a falling out.
Venser was a hothead. He kept urging Father not to put up with insults and stand his ground. Father explained to him in vain that to respond to such provocations would give the king's people an excuse to take from us. Actually, Venser went to defend the city a bit, out of defiance. We didn't even have time to say goodbye.
Tell me more about Kunzlin.
Father is the last Rudhard in Kuttenberg. After the death of his son, there remains only a daughter. who will not bear the family name. He doesn't want to go down in history as the weak Routard, who gave away his entire estate to Sigismund and ended the family line.
All right. Well, what's he like really?
Wise, caring, considerate, and strict, but it's hard to blame him.
Tell me more about your brother. What was he like?
I had always thought Venser was determined, brave and proud, except he was really more stubborn, short-tempered, and vain. And not a day goes by when I do not think of him. In spite of everything, he was my older brother, and I miss him.
Was he the one who taught you how to shoot a crossbow?
Yes, and also to ride a horse, curse in 3 languages, belch aloud,
Oh, there you go.
and other things every proper lady should know.
And Kunzlin certainly also mourns for Venser.
Naturally. As a father, he lost a son.
You speak as if he didn't even have a heart.
If they hadn't quarreled, Spencer might still be here today. Back to work. Which bad trait did you choose?
What if he were a bit of a womanizer? But a decent fella otherwise.
I mean,
And that strikes you as an excusable bad trait? I will engage in no such defense.
He could be born with his foot in his mouth. I know many such. They blurt something out, and only then think about it.
That's a good idea. His mouth gets him into trouble, but in the end, also out of it. That would be a joy to write.
how about that?
Well, just about finished.
Well, let's have a look.
Not yet. Something's missing.
What?
A picture. I don't trust myself with proper illumination, but I think I can handle a sketch. Especially if you'll be my model.
Sure
What?
thing.
And what on earth do I have to do?
Have you ever
Balls.
seen a heron? Imitate one.
A heron? Well, maybe like this?
Oh my god.
Well, now we're done.
Finally.
The bird pose.
Sore all over.
Your suffering is over. Come take a look at what we've done. Your reward.
I don't read this fast. I'm just choosing one sentence from each line here, each paragraph here. Ah, there it is.
So what about that story of ours?
That's nice. A bit didactic, but not to the point
Didactic,
of boring moral
damn.
bludgeoning. And that's the way it should be. Sermons for ordinary people work in a similar way. They entertain and encourage, with a few lessons added in between.
You see, when I lead mass one of these days, I'll certainly think of you. And what about the sketch? For such a slapdash job, it's not bad, right?
Oh, it's pretty, really. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I know I'm no master illuminator, but otherwise, I think we can be quite satisfied. And thank you for the help. I really enjoyed it.
No
Well,
problem.
so did I. I'd like to see you again sometime. Would you mind if I stop by?
Please do. I'll be glad. It will certainly be enlightening for both of us.
Yeah, no problem. Yay, achievement gain and scholarships. Let's go. And actually do the main quest. Alright.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly. I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Yes.
Surely you wouldn't deny me a chance to meet the king?
Don't try that on me. This is connected with Ruthard, and tell the truth.
I want to know what Sigismund tells the council. I hear it'll be important.
You want to spy? Do you know what you're risking? And what I'd be risking? Forget it.
Just
Have you
let me do
forgotten
it.
I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially
Yes,
me.
yes, yes.
And that will be the end of our business together.
I only need this one.
Now about a few groschen to seal our fruitful relationship.
You're worse than a horse dealer. Have it your way, then. You can get into the council assembly relatively easily.
Oh, God.
My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's... Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter then?
Fast feet and good manners.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king.
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is...
Yeah, I know where it is.
What would work on him?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him?
I'll be going then.
Just make...
Yeah, yeah. Alright. Let's get all this stuff real quick.
What is it? You want another fight?
Sorry, that was an accident.
Try to get
An
in here. The
accident?
door was locked, so I had
If
to
you touch
quickly
me
have the
once
guard
more,
to
you'll soon
catch
regret
me
it.
and open the door.
I have friends at the town
So
council, I'll
ridiculous.
have you know.
I must have mixed you up with someone else. You got this kind of familiar look about you.
You're the third one to tell me that. I'd like to know what arsehole I look like that everyone wants to beat me up all the time.
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to...
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
I just have to get in there. I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it. So I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right then. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you?
Of course. Who do you take me for?
All right. No need to get upset. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good excuse.
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully, the main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you. I promise.
You'd better not.
Okay, so... God damn, I look like a jackass. Oh my god. I mean, I should bring a sword, but yeah, you never know. What else? You don't need any of this. I'll leave it for now. I think I should be alright. Cool, cool, cool. And let's just switch back to my regular outfit. Oh, let's go good with this. Alright. Switch back to my regular outfit. I had YouTube playing in the background for some reason. Alright. Cool.
Franta cooled down.
Franta's not caught.
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here.
We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on.
So, let's have a look. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure.
Everything's in order. You know a good waiter by his properly seated cap. Without a tunic, you're no royal waiter. And have you forgotten your hose? You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. The royal waiter's livery has strict rules. So get changed quick and come.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Let's have a look at you then. You've got a waiter's cap. A tunic you have. Hose are good. You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You don't want to be dragging a load.
Everything as it should be.
Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are?
For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
Of course not.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way.
In short, behave as if you're not there.
But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double.
You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel.
Okay.
You take one and go to their table and pour for them.
Yep.
White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right.
So Adam and Zarzhitz.
stays dry.
And if the king himself
Zarzhitz.
wants wine,
Adam and Zarzhitz.
You
Go.
pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him.
Got it.
And the most important thing?
To stay in the background and keep quiet until someone asks me something.
Correct. The councillors have a lot to discuss, and they certainly don't need any interruptions. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Understood.
I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
well, yes.
But only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely.
I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. But you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to.
Yep. I'll just wing it.
I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here.
Hey.
It's easier to
level
serve
21.
with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
Yeah. All right. Let's get started.
The city reserves are in urgent need of
There
new
are the
weapons.
pictures of wine.
Unverzüglich. Our
Hopefully I
current
won't splash anyone's shoes.
is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town
Hey,
reserve
boy,
have worse
full
weapons
cup
than
of
any
monastery
Räuber
wine.
in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Come now,
Hand
waiter. I
Can
want
you
it red.
believe it? Where did they
Yeah.
get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them.
It's not red?
Since you're a
Why is it red
gunsmith.
then? That's
What
that's
are you implying?
weirdly
All I'm saying is
misleading.
that they had them, Bergow.
Come
It is
now,
eine
waiter.
Schande
I want
when
it red.
outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr
Sir?
König surely knows this too.
that's very misleading. Here, look.
it, Eldris?
I ordered one
You
thing
smell a
and get
deal?
another.
What
I
I
won't mix
smell
it
is
up
that
again.
you're
What?
stopping
What?
heads.
It wouldn't
do
even
not
give me.
realize-
Alright, I'm gonna restart. You wouldn't even give me the prompt. I already screwed it up. What the heck? I have to go in front of the table apparently. Alright. Simple enough.
The city reserves are in
There are the
urgent
pictures
need
of wine.
new weapons.
Hopefully I won't splash
Our
anyone's
current
shoes.
Waffenarsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have
Hey,
worse
waiter, pour
weapons
me
than
some
any
Capon.
Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the
Sir?
bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that.
Am I
thing.
supposed to drink red when
That
I want to Tokai?
Hackenbücher.
Pardon me.
This guy's playing me. He's playing me. I want to stab this guy already. I don't know who that guy is. I want to stab him. I'm so sorry for loading back and forth, but
The city reserves are in
Yeah,
urgent
here.
need of new weapons. Unverzüglich.
There
Our
are the
current
pictures of wine.
Waffenarsenal
Boy,
is a joke,
I'd like some white.
And on top of
White,
that, the
got it.
army was requisitioning
Color white.
from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
Sir?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry
Thank you,
Devil,
waiter.
used that thing. That
Oh, there he is.
Hackenbücher. Hand cannon. Can you believe it?
I apologize.
Where did they get them?
You're the
I
one who
fancy
should
some
know where they
Tokai.
got them.
Refill,
Since you're
boy.
a gunsmith.
What are you implying?
I'd like to
Friedrich?
oblige,
All I'm
but
saying is
I'm
that
not
they
allowed.
had them.
This is
Bergow.
unbelievable.
It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
Pour me red
What I
wine.
smell is that
Red
your
wine.
stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in
Sir?
the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want
Well,
to defend
thank the
yourselves
Lord.
with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory, and the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no
That
solution
dog
of
underneath
the
that
current
table.
situation. We
Yeah.
shall
Oh,
wait
it's multiple
and
dogs,
see
okay.
what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht.
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean bars?
That's not a good idea, sir.
This is unbelievable.
Isn't it the same thing?
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Your
More
Honor.
wine, Master
But a
Bailiff.
woman named Betty has showed up on Hopbrink.
Come
Wants to
closer.
repair the baths that used to be there.
I need something from you.
Okay.
There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there.
Where can I find this goblet?
Use your eye and come right.
Leech is there for free
Jesus
as well.
Christ.
And while he's there, a man can shave and take a... you-know-what.
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you
Nice.
forgotten the Black Death?
Whose silver might
A
this
great
be?
many people died needlessly.
So?
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
Not so loud. That's it. And now go back to your job.
Keeping the city clean is important. But we don't have money to spend.
Hey,
Arguing about
This is my
who
spot,
is
get out
going
of
to wash where and how is a waste of time.
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit.
To
And
Kai!
as we know,
And a full cup.
Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich,
I apologize,
what have you
sir.
got to say about it?
Which wine? To Kai. That's the wine, sir.
Sure what you're implying.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident.
thank
you were there, weren't you?
Oh, that. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
Hey, my ears must be
Full
deceiving
cup of
me.
monastery
Are
wine.
you defending Rutard?
I apologize, sir.
Besides,
Which
if his
wine?
men attacked
Born
yours,
as
as I've
Terry
heard,
Red.
then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like
sir.
Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Thank you.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first.
You there, lad.
Knows what he
A
wants
cup
to
of red.
tell us.
If
And
nothing
don't you
happens,
skimp on me.
there's no point in dwelling on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it
Sir?
off so quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth?
Well, thank the Lord.
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened?
I'm not
it's
keeping
gonna be a
anything
long
from you, but there's little
day.
truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts.
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If we really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want.
Hey,
I
boy,
suspect
a full
the
cup
gentleman
of
from
monastery
the city's
wine.
sword fighting school brought this custom to us. That German Menhard is just hanging around the market looking for trouble.
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker. You act like you've never been in a fight yourself.
Vanish!
And to accuse a swordsman
As you wish,
without a shred of proof.
Sir Ulrich.
We're not some old fishwives of the
want to see you again.
So, you want to
Proven offences are punished by the bailiff.
Everything in
and
order?
That's that.
Not quite.
There are
But I
more
think you might
pressing
be able
matters
to help
deal
me.
with.
Come here.
more press?
Okay.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear...
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored. And because I told you. Get on with it.
You, a council, let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains
Which
over a
wings?
beer, I'd
1,
soon be
2,
able to
3,
afford
4, 5. Wait, what wings is he talking about? These ones here?
Never get anywhere like this.
Ah! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's go 20.
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
Oh, right. Individual people? Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Fuck it. I care.
So, let's see.
I found your glove.
Really? And did you count?
I counted 16.
And did you count all the monsters and animals?
Oh. I thought you meant only the angels.
Go back to serving wine, blockhead.
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to Skalitz, right under our noses. It's just a village with
I'll
a
have a cup
monastery,
of white.
and they are going to mock a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Waiter, hold your horses,
Pour me
gentlemen.
red wine.
That space in the side nave is mine.
Then
I
hell
hate this
freezes
quest.
over, my friend.
So sure.
Your place is at least 2 steps
I
behind
can't
mine.
stand
A
this.
swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
I wasn't paying
You wanted to
attention.
buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Obrink.
And don't you scare you wells.
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
So, this is news to me. Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all
Alex
out.
got lost
Ah,
over.
yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Kirchek Össe, Elegiop Katonaikat, Ishkelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this banner falls!
No words. No words at all. Yes, I'm playing Father Godwin!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject.
Oh, I don't like the highlight.
Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep him mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malashov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Fair enough.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
How does it feel to breathe free air?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests.
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabot.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Let's talk to everyone else first. Jiska.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and...
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. He's reliable, and has his heart in the right place. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz.
High five myself.
He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me. But instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Copula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him. Just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
I can handle myself and drink a coupon. Pick inside.
Drink our fill of wine, and by morning I'm glad to find you.
Yops is here.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood.
How did you end up imprisoned in Malachau?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron. I have.
Ah, je suis désolé. This Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children, and even women fighting. But the clergy? Do tell me about it.
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell there.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me. So I settled down in the presbytery in Ujits.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
Ah, the Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Oh, shit, that's it.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess. Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Do you have a minute? I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
As it happens, I've got nothing better to do anyway.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge.
Okay.
If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
Tell me a bit more about those people.
Certainly.
Botchek of Kunstadt.
Alright, we're gonna skip all that dialogue.
Alder
He still is. The only one who... Only he's here, but he'll...
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz. And I
was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary... But don't trust appearances.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her. And that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then.
I wish us both luck.
Success to our plans.
They both love drinking, dude. It's... it's a good thing, I guess. Actually, can I talk to,
Not even Botchek? Not even Botchek. And he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe. Martin likes to exaggerate. He was talking about the sorry nags even when they belong to someone else.
Nags? What nags?
Wait, where are they? I want to talk to... but they're not here. There they are. Yes.
Take a look at...
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
Yes!
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord! What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations, but, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
May I have a word with you, sir?
You? Anytime. With you, at least, there's some sensible conversation. Unlike this pack of conceited upstarts.
Have you got something against the Kuttenberg nobles?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung. But thanks to the royal mines, they were born with silver spoons up their asses. And they think that can turn their blood blue.
But surely they're not all like that. And they are our allies.
Allies or not, someone ought to show them their place.
Young Lord Capon is finally free again. Let's hope he'll take better care of himself now.
He got a harsh lesson. But at least he might remember to lay off that tomfoolery of his for a while. But if not, war will make a man of him soon enough.
Do you think there's really going to be a war? I mean a proper one, not just sitting around and talking about it.
I sincerely hope so. Whoever sits around risks nothing. It's time to get off our asses and take action.
What do you think about Jobst?
Are you testing me? Jobst called this assembly and he wants things to turn out well. We have to trust him.
To turn out well for whose benefit, though? Some are up to their elbows in silver and blood, so others can live in freedom.
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile, help the former to keep their losses to a minimum.
Praise the Lord.
Good to see you.
Oh, we're there to talk to you? Oh, you know her. Where is she? Get out of my way.
Exactly why we mustn't push too hard.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Jobst comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for it.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund?
My guarantee is called Yitka. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
Okay.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
What's wrong with him? He's young, he's handsome, women are fighting over him. Yitka will like him, and he'll give her a whole bunch of children.
And to half the wenches in his domain. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on. Maybe it's not such...
So?
You're selling the skin of a boar. First, I want to confirm...
And what if Lord Capon...
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support you.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty...
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
Oh no, what have I done? What have I done?
Take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks.
Lobster nightingale? He looks more like a wet hen to me.
It's quite unusual to see him cornered like this.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning.
She Coppola's looking at us like, what is he on about?
I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Bushek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yitka.
Bushek of Kunstadt? The Bushek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Oh, you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you!
What have I done?
And to your parlaying skills!
What have I done? What have I done? Oh, doom this all.
Sir Bushek, your niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord King.
Here's to a good bargain.
I'm getting too drunk. Where's the lady? Is she here? There she is.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
This will not take a revenge on a woman.
You manage large estates. In return for your generosity, we offer you protection.
I've managed quite well up to now, taking care of my own resources. If you want me to support you...
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harmon Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
Have you fallen out with the Town Councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
Take a look at that.
Okay. I seriously have that right now? What do you mean I ate too much? What did I eat? Oh, it doesn't matter.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
Lady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health, Lady Anna.
And to the success of our efforts.
I need to stop drinking.
I'd like to check your horses out. See if they're as good as you say.
Ha! Even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without a by your leave. Or to harass my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
Interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Older.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
We've never met, and we have no cause to be enemies. Take back your challenge, and we'll sort things out peacefully.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson, and he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame. As always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher will sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
Yeah.
It's in my eyes, not
bad
at
for a
my
priest.
sword. With your whole arm, not just your wrist. Left arm lower.
Am I teaching this guy how to fight?
Did they teach you that in the seminary?
You don't know which end of that thing is up. Cover your right side. You've got a gap there. I can drive a car.
That was sneaky.
Stand firm. Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your.
Am I literally teaching how to do this? Okay.
Fuck. Enough. That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Why? Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
What a shit father.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Older.
I've got to get him on our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same side?
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into action.
After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Older. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
He looks so old. But then again, that could be all the booze. Can really hurt the figure of the person. I'll have to wait. Because I'm bloody drunk.
God bless.
Oh, is that it?
Someone
I thought I had to wait.
Not at all. I managed nothing.
I'm just gonna save, because why not?
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them. Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Bergow did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein. To do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you are harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors. They need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in the land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto from Bergow and his men set out for Raposh. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of it.
White it is. Quickly. If Raposh falls, others will follow.
I think von Bergow's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire.
Why am I standing
We
here
shall
for?
see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Yep. Hey.
Constance, minding the Lord of Kirkstein.
I think we can leave it off here for now. It's been going on for an hour and 31 minutes. It's a very long mission, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, we're coming to the ending of the game. Though, kind of wish it doesn't want to end, because so far the story has been perfection. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a good night, afternoon, morning, whatsoever. Goodbye.